Hey everyone, and welcome to my first episode of the Wahiva podcast. I'm recording this episode, just to sort of explain why I'm doing this. And the reason I want to explain that is mostly for myself, because I've received messages to really clear messages to do a podcast, and I don't always understand why. This is probably one of my biggest weaknesses, is to look at nothing, to look at this camera in front of me. There's no one here. There's no one to kind of grab hold of and to just express myself. It's like, who am I? You know? I feel like that is the reason I'm doing this podcast, is to discover who I am, which is the foundation of what my business Wahiva stands for, is to discover, to remember, to see the authentic you that lives within you. And this podcast is a way of me sort of shedding the layers of who I think I am, or who I present to be in front of whoever, to see what's actually there. As I look into this blank camera, there's no one to hide behind. There's no one's personality to adhere to. There's no one for me to be. And I can always tell whenever I'm in front of this camera and the episode is going to be a dud, not just for everyone else, but for myself, because I start trying to be perfect for everyone, for the entire potential of people who could possibly be watching this, which is, first of all, completely unreasonable. It's completely unfathomable. Like, how do I be perfect for, first of all, any person, let alone the whole world, So I think this is a huge lesson for me, to learn how to come back inside and how to express myself in my fullness without fear and without any pretense as to what I should sound like, or what I should be saying, or what would be digestible for others, or even for who I think I am. So that is the main reason I'm doing this podcast. And that is the main reason I'm starting my business, Wahiva, because I feel that fear, when we become afraid, which seems to be the natural programmings of a human being, we completely lose ourselves to the program. We become the computer that we are, that is surviving, and we do things that aren't us. We do things like we lie, we pretend, we show up in ways that not only hurt ourselves, but hurt others, So staring in this black lens is sort of my way of peeling those layers off. Because, to be honest, I'm over it in my own self. I'm over pretending. I'm over trying to be someone for someone else, because even as I've tried to be perfect and what everyone wants, I'm still hated. I'm still disliked. I'm still, I think someone told me today they want to shake me. They're so frustrated with me. I've heard people say that I'm so judgmental that they don't even want to be around me. I just heard that yesterday. Like, there's so much in my own pretending to be, I'm pretending to be something that I think that they will like. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So I'm to the point now where I'm just tired of it. What's the point in pretending to be something else if you're going to be hated anyways? So here I am, presenting myself as authentically as I possibly can, and sharing some of the lessons I've learned in my life and some of the stories I've experienced, which honestly may not even be real. It may just all be made up in my head. I'm reading a book called Spiritual Enlightenment, The Damnedest Thing by Jed McKenna. And no one knows who this Jed McKenna is. He doesn't actually exist, and none of the stories can be proven. So this could all just be this crazy story in someone's head. And what else is life but a big story in your own head, So the stories I share, the experience I have, may not even be real. But what is real, I don't know. I don't know what real is. So the stories I share more so point to the lessons I've learned, the things that I've decided that I've really leaned in to be true. And some things I'm still debating on. Some things I have no idea. To be honest, truth is something I haven't quite figured out yet. So I think in me doing this podcast, it's my own shedding of layers to discover the truth within me. And whoever decides to listen, like, kudos to you. And if you don't decide to listen, kudos to you too. I'm realizing that this isn't for the other, which is kind of my whole MO as a person, you know? So, as who I've tried to be in my own fear, in my own wanting to be accepted and belong and wanting to be loved, I've done things that aren't true. I've believed things about myself that aren't true. I've experienced jealousy. I've experienced anger, and I've lied to people, and I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of the facade. So this podcast is all about me shedding all that, me being me. And that is also the basis of my entire brand. Is if we were all to shed the fear of not belonging, who would we be? If we were to look at the emotions that we feel in each circumstance that make us feel like we don't belong, like we're not loved, like we're not enough, and if we were to look at it objectively and realize that that could not possibly be true, who would we be? What would we do? What would we become? What would we say? That's what I want to discover, not only within myself, but with anyone else who decides to come and ask for my guidance, you know? And in anyone that seeks my guidance, I can't help them if I don't do it myself, you know? So these past, I would say, 4 to 5 years that I've been on this awakening journey where I've realized that my reality is a very small blip of what's actually out there, that's been my work. And it continues. I keep learning lessons. I learn lessons every day. And I think this podcast is one of my lessons, to show myself for real, to not give you this polished and clean Jordan who wants to make you happy because she wants to be loved and accepted. So let's see where this goes. Let's take a deep breath in. Let's discover what's inside, because I know if I find what's inside me, you'll also find what's inside of you. That's how all this quantum entanglement works anyways, you know? So I'm really excited and nervous and frightened and joyful and liberated all at the same time. All the emotions are moving through me to begin this podcast, to really speak up, to let go of who I think I am, and to see what comes out of that, to see what moves. Anyways, I thank you for tuning in, for listening. Expect more episodes to come out soon. This is just an introduction as to what the hell I'm even doing here. So I hope you enjoy the later episodes. And honestly, I don't know. Do I hope that's like again, see, I catch myself again. I hope if this calls to you that you hear me. And if you don't, that's okay. It's really okay. Anyways, peace and love to all of you.